Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Like now? Right now?
Like I'm recording right now.
Like right now?
Yeah.
I'll be right.
Now.
Now?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
Now. Like now? Okay.
I swear to God, if you don't start, I'm going to stop again.
Welcome back, Inebri-art listeners. Welcome back to this week's podcast. And we're just here to mention a quick little blurb. This month's our sponsor is Kristen Winkelbauer of B-Box. And the B-Box is a quarterly subscription service where you can get, it's all sorts of prints, artwork, keychains, these cool like wooden laser cut pieces of art that Kristen herself does all the art behind this. And there's several steps to each one. There's a $15, a $25, a $35, and a $45 price point for each box. And obviously the more expensive the box, the more cool stuff you get inside. And it's just got a whole bunch of prints, stickers, all sorts of cool stuff that you can appreciate her art. She does really beautiful work, and so she's our sponsor. She sent us a couple of B-boxes to give away at our events this month. So if you attend the craft beer coloring or life drawing, we're going to have a chance to give away a B-box. And we also have a little gift bag that we have to give away also at those events. And we have the Queen Bee box, which is the $45 price point on that, the deluxe box. And that will be added into our prize package for our Facebook followers. So if you already follow us on Facebook, you're entered. If not, make sure you follow Inebri-art on Facebook, and then you'll be entered into all our drawings. And make sure you check out Kristen's artwork at, just search for Google the B-Box, and check it out. And if you don't want to subscribe on a quarterly basis to this, you can even just buy it one time, give it to a gift. I think it'd make a great gift. So check it out, the B-Box. Thank you, Kristen, for being our sponsor, and let's get into the podcast.
Robust bad boy.
Oh, that's actually really good. What is it? Chocolate peanut butter porter. You know what? It's funny because it's a Purple Monkey dishwasher was the first one that I tried.
This is the step up from that.
This actually tastes like more chocolatey and peanut buttery, but it's still really good. And I never thought that would be a good thing.
You can't get it in Massachusetts. I sent
really?
somebody out of state for my Christmas gifts.
Is this a crime that you're talking about?
There is a thing. It's definitely a thing.
It is. That's what the Smokey and the Bandit was about. So what's your CB radio, call sign?
I don't know what that means.
Like, Smokey was not his name. Oh, no, Smokey was the... Bandit was not his name.
Well, Smokey was also not his name.
Well, yeah, but that was the cops.
Good job, Andy.
Snowman.
I don't get it.
On the radio. Like, the CB radio. Have you seen Smokey and the Bandit?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
So when you have a CB radio, you have to have it's like a chat room name before there are chat room names.
Holy Hops Batman.
Oh, there you go.
That's like my username for everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, now our listeners know how to find you.
They're not recording, are they?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, fantastic.
So, welcome, Inebri-ites, back to the Inebri-art podcast. I am Andy. We are here at the Craft Beer Cellar in Plymouth, where we record most of our episodes. And we are here with Angela Ahlstedt of Bay State Brew Tours.
Cheers.
And so we met you when we started recording here. And you guys started up this Brew Tours bus, a beer bus. What exactly is the Bay State Brew Tours?
So it's actually funny how it came about. I remember late winter, talking February, Tatum mentioned to me that Steve had the idea to buy a bus and to do brew tours, and I was like, oh my god, that's an amazing idea. Good for him. Go for it.
Yeah,
and
this is Steve Hall, who runs Hophead events. We recorded at his Food and Wine Expo. Yeah.
Right, that's right. And you're going to do it again at Hopfest this year.
Hopfest this year, yeah.
Awesome.
So, sorry.
No, you're
I was
good.
just letting our listeners know who Steve was.
So then Tatum said, I'm going to go and do it with him. I said, good for you. I was like, it's a great collaboration. You guys can go hand in hand with everything. It sounds like a really good idea. Couple weeks go by, and then she's like, hey, how do you feel about venturing in on this with us? And I was like, sounds like an awesome idea. And then it felt like a couple days later we were sitting down, signing the contract, all really excited to be in business together. Whereas they both offer so much in the craft beer community, and I knew that through all of the connections and all of the time we've already put in with relationships and breweries and everything else, it was going to be an easy transition for all of us.
Right, and I mean, that's kind of the no-brainer, because, I mean, Steve's been doing Hophead events for quite a while. Tatum's got the beer cellar, and so it's just kind of adding another aspect to that stuff.
It's very complimentary.
Yeah. So you got the Sweet Ride.
We did.
It's a short bus. You drive the short bus, right?
Yes, I don't. I always thought I'd be the rider, but I'm the driver. We purchased, for all intents and purposes, a short bus. It's green, and it's very, very noticeable. It's a 14-passenger vehicle, and it's just a fun time.
So the basic idea is that you take people around to visit local breweries and breweries a little further away. And do they get a full tour of the brewery, or is it just kind of like a tasting?
So what separates us from... we're not a party bus. We really do focus on the educational aspect of beer. We take our passengers to different breweries depending on the different tour. There's a Plymouth tour, there's a Somerville tour, there, all different types of tours. We take them there. They don't wait in line. They receive free samples based on the brewery. And they also get a brewery tour with either the brewers or the owners, and it's a really hands-on educational experience. Of course, we want everybody to drink and have a great time, but at the end of the day, we also want to make sure that they're coming away from the experience having learned something new.
Yeah. So I actually was in Germany and signed up for a brewery tour, and it was a brew house. Like, it was a restaurant that brewed their own beer, and they were closed, and they literally, sat us down and, here's a beer, and that was the tour. So that's not what this is. You see hands-on exactly what's going on. And
absolutely. And not only that, everybody that drives for us now definitely has a knowledge of beer.
Yep.
Myself and Steve and another gentleman, Jared, that we hired as a driver, we wanted to make sure that everybody had a knowledge of beer.
So you have a knowledge of beer even though you're a girl?
Should I tell that one?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
At one of my favorite breweries, a gentleman tried to out-beer me all night, saying how...
Out-beer, drink more beer than you?
No, saying that he knew more, and I was just, okay, yeah, sure, okay, guy, that's cool. And then by the end of the night, he's really giving me a hard time. And I look over at his beer, and I forget the name of the beer at the time, but I said, oh, you're drinking the such and such. He's like, no, I'm drinking the such and such. And I was like, just looking at it, no, you're drinking something else. You're drinking what I said. And his buddy looks over at me and he's like, yeah, so she's right. I'm like, so I can tell with my eyes what beer you're drinking, and you can't tell with your mouth. But please mansplain beer to me just one more time.
Right. Well, because Tatum always complains about, how she'll make recommendations or something. And,
It's tough being a woman in the industry. It takes people... You have to almost prove yourself to people because they don't take you seriously.
Right.
Based on your gender, which is such a crazy thing. We're not talking, heavy lifting, construction, and if anybody can heavy lift, by the way, it's Tatum. She's a beast.
Yeah.
But we're talking about flavor profiles and beer and things that you just taste. I don't understand how that has become so gender specific.
It's I don't know, and I used to work for Home Depot,
and
people
never used a tool.
Yeah, and people would walk by, like the woman who runs the department, to ask me a question. I'd be like, well, you got to ask her. I have no fucking idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
But if someone if I was in that instance, I might do the same thing. Like, and I'm not a sexist person, but it's just weird kind of like, if you were standing next to Fish and I was going to go ask someone about beer, I'd probably ask Fish, and it's not like, but if you, which is stupid because he doesn't drink beer, but like if you told me something, I would, well, if you told me something, I'd ignore it, but if Tatum told me, I'd listen.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there's that.
It's just you.
You just have to, over time, guys come in and then they understand that we really can help them.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to stand there and find everything on Untapped. It's like, we're right here. We can tell you anything you need to know. Just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask.
People in general don't like to ask anything,
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, you feel like you have to prove yourself. But then I do have male customers. They get to know me. We talk beer all the time, and it changes their opinion of not making it so gender specific.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So what's your biggest pet peeve when it comes to someone selecting beer, Ange?
I think you know very well. My biggest pet peeve is that when people pick out beer by the label. If you collect cans...
But they're pretty.
Yes. Right. If you collect cans or if you collect bottles, and we do have one specific customer, he has to find the perfect can because he collects cans, and that's great. He looks for the artwork. That's great. Awesome. However, some of the most simple labels are some of the best beers out there. And if my famous saying is, you're not drinking the label.
Your most favorite saying is like, Andy, shut the fuck up.
That's a close tie. That's a close tie. But no, you're not drinking the label. It can have the prettiest label in the world and be the shittiest beer in the world.
That's absolutely 100% true, because I've had some really nasty beer.
Yeah, how do you like the Sweet Baby Jesus?
The Sweet Baby Jesus is actually really delicious. And who puts it out?
DeClaw.
DeClaw? And
yes.
Where are they out of?
I want to say Maryland. Yes, Maryland.
So now you said this beer is not available in Massachusetts.
It is not.
What determines whether a beer is available in what region?
Distribution rights, licensing, getting all that set up. Like another one of my things is when people come in and ask for Heady Topper, and that's fine, but when the people from Vermont come in and ask for Heady Topper with a scoff on their face, it's like, we don't have that. Why?
What? So is that only available in Vermont?
It's only available in Vermont, yes. So it was rated the #1 IPA in the world. Everybody goes bonkers for it. It's a very highly traded, highly respected, and rightfully so, IPA. It's unfiltered, and it comes in this really cool can. You'd love the label.
It's pretty. Nice.
But there's some stuff you just can't get outside of certain states.
Yeah.
So.
So what do you feel like has brought upon this, like, craze of craft beer, and is it something that's is it a fad? Is it something that's going to kind of fade, or? No,
I don't think so at all. I think that especially with the younger generations, we're all really interested in flavors and foods, because if you look at food now and chains like Applebee's and all them dying down, it's because we want a real food experience. We want a real taste experience.
Yeah.
One of my favorite chefs, Mike Morway, you went into Nosh.
Former podcast guest,
yes. It just provided an experience.
Yeah.
And I think that we're all looking for that great beer. The way that craft beer works is that there's so many. It's rotating all the time. So you're not just picking up the same damn beer every time.
Right.
You're not picking up a 12-pack of Bud or, whatever. It comes with seasons. It comes with how you feel that day. I'm telling you, as soon as the sweatshirt comes on, I'm drinking porters and stouts.
Yeah.
As soon as the windows are rolled down, it's all IPAs. Like, one of my beer geek guilty pleasures is Hell or High Watermelon. It's a seasonal release. And it's delicious. And I look forward, and because you can't get things year-round, when they come back again...
You're excited.
Right. It's nostalgic. Yep. It's special. It's, this beer reminds me of the summer I spent on the beach with so-and-so. Or, the spring that we spent on my porch, or this and that and the other thing, because I think that every year with every season, I personally connect to a beer, and it brings me back to that time.
To that particular summer or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And I just feel like since I moved down here, I've become a bit of a food snub, and Mike Morway's part of the reason.
Yeah.
When you walk into a place and he's like, yeah, we make our own ketchup. And I'm like, wait, what? Sorry, you make your own ketchup? And it just kind of opened up my eyes to, like, how many... In Plymouth is easy, because there's so many places down here.
It's a mecca for foodie food.
But I just... Since I moved down here, I found that, like, I'd rather go to a place like Nosh or New World where you can see the guy who owns a place, you can talk to him, you can build a relationship with them, and, like, I'd rather give that guy my $50 than just give that off to Fridays or
and that's
Buffalo
what makes
Wild
Plymouth
Wings.
So special is all the different restaurants and bar owners and shop owners. I have never experienced anything like I experienced in Plymouth. Everyone is just so great to each other. Everybody helps each other out. I mean, Tatum was having an issue with keg parts, and she had 5 different people reach out to her. Hey, I have this piece here, and this person has this piece here, and seeing all the different owners go to all the other establishments, and everybody's just so great to each other.
Right.
It's not cutthroat at all. It's like one big happy family, and that's just, it's so inspiring to me.
And I think that kind of goes with the microbrew. What's the other one? Nano brew? Is that the other one that's like even smaller than
Super
microbrew?
small, yeah.
Is like these people generally try to get the best quality ingredients, and these are the people who are more likely to really have a passion, opposed to some guy who's just working a job for Budweiser.
They're not pouring prepackaged crap into a bowl and microwaving it. They do it right. You look at Speedwell's chicken. You look at New World's nachos. When you could go to Nosh, you were sitting there actually eating pickled onions by themselves because they were so good.
Yep.
And everybody pays attention to local ingredients and fresh ingredients. And Jordan, who's going to be here in a little bit, him and his totally awe-inspiring burgers, and it's a great place for great food, great beer, great people, great community. It's outstanding.
So you're heading into your first summer with the bus.
Yes, we are.
Now that we're hitting warmer weather and not shitty rain all the time, even though it is raining right now, and like the beginning of tourist season, are you seeing like an uptick in that, or?
So as a whole, tourism's been down a little bit, but it's the weather.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to walk down Main Street and
it's been awful around here. Yeah.
Right. So we are looking forward to that tourist season. We're just so excited to get people that can't experience a Mayflower beer at home over to the Mayflower Brewing, and people that they just come to Plymouth for the history, and then they take a tour and they end up at Black Hat in Bridgewater, or Old Colony Brewing in Whitman,
or Indie Firm. Wait, what's in Whitman?
Old Colony.
There's a brewery in Whitman?
There sure is.
They're
fantastic. They're great guys. I'll take you down there.
Where are they located?
You want to go after this? Let's go.
I have to record with Jordan after this. You just said that.
We'll kidnap Jordan and bring him with us.
Where's that?
It's on 18. But if you want to talk about any...
That's vague.
It's like almost...
50 feet.
I know.
Yeah,
What's it near? Give me a...
Stop and Shop.
Okay, I know exactly. Yeah. Oh, is it kind of across the street?
It's on the same side of the street I went. It's like you would never know it unless you were looking for it. It's in this tiny little strip mall type of deal. It's
okay, I know what you're talking about.
It's such a great little special find.
I had no idea. I grew up in Whitman, so it's like that's why I'm like, shut the fuck up.
We're fellow Whitmanites.
You grew up in Whitman?
I did.
I
was a gypsy, but I lived there for many, many years.
Yeah. Best pizza in town.
Well, I don't like pizza.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah,
How do you not like pizza?
I just...
Oh, and foodies and blah, 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 and I don't like good things. And
No, I I can appreciate the art of a pizza. It's just not my thing. And I'm sure I'm going to get, like, hated on for this so bad. It's going to be awful.
So, for our listeners, that was at Holy Hops Batman, where you can send your hate mail and death threats.
My Untapped, my Twitter, my Instagram.
Holy shit,
not my
I can't believe you don't
Instagram,
like
my
pizza.
Snapchat. Yeah, no, it's never been a thing, and it's so funny because my family never remembers, and they always ask me, hey, you want some pizza? And they're like, oh, yeah.
For our listeners, best pizza in Whitman is Venus Pizza, and it just is.
Well, I'll take your word on that one.
God, I can't stand you.
But then I bring you awesome beer. And
Yeah,
you're like, all right,
and then I'm
fine.
like, all right, I'll tolerate her, I guess. So,
We have a very fun relationship.
pretty much, yeah. So, you have your Plymouth tour, which apparently goes to Whitman.
Well, the Plymouth area tour
Yeah.
right now is Independent Fermentations, aka Indie Farm,
Yeah.
Mayflower, and Dirty Water. However,
They're going to be adding...
there's 2 new breweries coming to
yeah.
town. There's Plymouth Beer Company,
Yep.
and then Second Wind Brewing.
Second Wind. I was going to call it Stormfront, and I knew that was wrong.
No, I'm so excited for all those guys, and Tom and Kenny and Hans and JR. They're all working incredibly hard. I mean, you see Second Wind putting out media posts of them pouring
concrete and stuff. I saw that. Yeah.
They're such awesome guys. They really, really know their stuff, and I'm really excited for them to come to town and just kick ass.
Han's such a good guy. He's always like, oh, when am I going to be on the podcast? I'm like, as soon as you start brewing your first beer.
Yes. We're actually, Hans and we have a secret project that we're doing. And we're going to I grow herbs in my garden, and so
This is like herbs or like air quotation herbs?
maybe a little of each.
All right.
It's fine.
6-1,
We'll
half
talk
dozen
about
other.
that when the mic's off. No, but I actually grow chocolate spearmint.
A chocolate spearmint?
Yes, I know, and it sounds crazy. It doesn't sound like a thing, but it's a real thing. And I'm going to harvest it at the end of the season, and we're going to really make this awesome, awesome, awesome beer with it. And we're going to call it Beer FF, because I call him my Beer FF.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. No, he's the man.
All right, that's
They're
cool.
all great guys. Yeah. You can't really...
But that goes back to like everyone in...
Yes.
It's down here. It's just so cool and good to cool with... I mean, our listeners hear me say this shit all the time. But then I keep bringing people on, and everyone keeps echoing the same thing.
We were actually approached by somebody else about being part of a trail. A beer trail that goes all the way up and down the South Shore, and that's another great idea. And I think it's just the key to the craft beer industry is everybody's so collaborative. My biggest inspiration in the craft beer industry is definitely Russ from Barrel House Z. He is the most phenomenal man. His business model is crazy. Everything he does is a collaboration. Actually, Mike Morway did a beer down there that was fantastic. And just everything that he does. I mean, he owns the brewery, and he walks around picking up people's trash. He's the most humble, awesome, amazing human being. And just his whole attitude towards the entire thing. Because you do run into people here and there that too big for their britches, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's that in any field, but...
But it can get pretty bad.
Yeah.
So to have the totally other end of the spectrum, to see somebody like Russ, absolutely killing it. All of his beers are just to die for. You just go in there, you have your macanadas, and then you have a perfect beer in a perfect place with a great staff and awesome energy, and it's just really hard to find something that perfect.
So, like I said, since I've kind of been living down in Plymouth, I've become a bit of a food snob. But every couple of weeks, I still go and get McDonald's French fries.
Wendy's. I get it.
I love my dark beers, but if I'm working out in the yard, I will get PBR sometimes. Do you ever find yourself drinking that commercially produced beer?
What's funny is my friends give me a lot of shit because I'm turning all my friends into craft beer. However, I do have my friends that are just never going to change, and that's fine. If you want to drink
what you
fizzy
like.
piss
I mean,
water, that's all. Do you all day long. I mean, you can crush those to death. So do you. So one of my best friends actually, as a joke, bought me a Coors Light shirt for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I use it as my bar rag. I know that sounds like... But it's like the fuck you back.
Right,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you bought me a shirt to fuck with me.
Yeah,
so now it's my bar rag.
Right.
And I laugh every time I use it because, we joke around about stuff like that. And you can find that. And it's funny. So, but do I... If a bar doesn't have a good beer, I opt for a cocktail.
Yeah.
I don't find pleasure in it. I don't see a reason to spend my money on it. And not only that, I don't want to contribute to an industry that every day is trying to break us down.
Right.
That are trying to hurt the income of my friends.
Yeah.
So I just will not put my money into anybody like that.
Yeah. See, it's just like if I'm at a cookout on a really hot day, I drink Corona. And it's like... I don't know why. It's just that's...
People love it, and that's fine. It's
to
just
me,
not my choice.
I think it's almost like that nostalgia kind of...
Of course. Especially on Cinco de Mayo, everyone's buying their limes and their Coronas. And,
but, you hate pizza, so...
So my...
You hate pizza, you don't like art, because you're like, oh, don't buy the pretty bottle.
No, it's not that I don't like art. Like, it's just don't buy it because of it. I had one guy come in, excuse me, and he picked out all of his beers based on the label.
Yeah, his name's Andy.
He said to me, beer is beer is beer. It doesn't matter. It all tastes the same.
That's not true at all.
So you've never drank craft beer in your life. Okay, cool. Because one of his beers was like a hopped Pilsner. Another one was a really, really deep barley wine. I'm like, so you're going to get home and you're going to tell me that hoppy Pils is just like that barley wine?
It's
okay.
Not. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Have fun. So, that is my... I knew you were going to talk about that today.
But it's like, I don't only buy for the art. Because one of my absolute favorite artists does all the labels for Flying Dog.
Yes.
And Ralph Steadman.
Yes.
And...
Raging Bitch is a great label.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it's like, they do so many IPAs where I'm like, that's a great label, but I'm not going to drink it.
About IPA labels, guys, green, we get it. Every friggin' IPA can is green.
Yeah.
So you're just looking at a wall of green. Like, we get it. Hops are green. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Move along. Can we do something else at all?
So, you guys are running a tasting up there now, and the guy's like, oh, they use 6 different kinds of hops, and I'm sure it's like any other plant. It depends on where you grow and what soil and your weather conditions.
Absolutely.
Do they grow hops in Massachusetts? Is it like...
Yeah, I actually know of people that were accidentally growing hops, and they thought it was a weed because it spreads so quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can... Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely grow hops. I have a deck, and it's a raised deck. And I'm going to put lattice there, and I'm going to make the entire thing a privacy screen with hops.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it kind of grows up?
Yeah, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a really hearty, fun, spreads quickly. It takes about 3 years to yield an actual cone, usable cone, but yeah, people grow and they don't even realize what they're doing.
Interesting. Well, I'm a farmer now.
Yeah, you can make beer from it when you're done with it.
I'm probably going to give it to, Tom and Hans and them. I told them, I'm going to harvest it for you guys, do whatever you want with it, because I personally don't brew.
Right.
Because I'm not home enough to,
See, the thing that kind of, I understand, but I would find the most difficult thing is you brew it and then you can't drink it for... 2 months or something?
See, that's the other thing is I'm so
you're just
impatient.
looking at it and being like,
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks, I'm sure it's fine.
Right. Actually, the Baxter was just in here, and they were saying
The dog from Anchorman?
No, Baxter Brewing. And they come out once a year with this bootleg. And this year it has something crazy, like 15 or 16 hops in it. And each can has 1 ounce of hops. And the price of hops right now is crazy. So it's like, wow, an ounce of hops. That's a lot.
So that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's one of those I don't really know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So what do you do when you're not drinking beer or while you're drinking beer?
Sleeping. No, yeah, I work a lot. Tatum and I do a lot of events together, and I'm at the store, and I have my 3 children. So if I'm not drinking beer or with my kids, I'm doing dishes and cleaning my house.
Trying to get the life shit done.
Yeah, well, part of this really, really tough job is I have to go to a lot of breweries. And I have to drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
But I sacrifice every day for the good of the people.
It's funny, my boss is always like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know when you find time to sleep. You know, you're always doing stuff, and you're like, yeah, I am, but I'm always going to, like, bars.
Right.
And,
right.
you know, the beer cellar and hanging out and talking to cool people, or you. And, you know, it's like, it's not, I mean, it's a lot, but it's not work. I mean, technically it's work, but it's not, like, I don't...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, do what you love. I love drinking beer. I love hanging out with people. I love listening to people's beer stories and seeing my friends succeed. And, I mean, what else could you get paid so well? It's
right.
insane. It's a wonderful, awesome industry to be in, and it's a great community.
Yeah.
And if I could do it for free, I would. That's just how much I love it.
And with the podcast now, it's like we get into the Food and Wine Expo and the Hop Fest, and you're like, this is awesome. It's
amazing.
Like these people are paying to be here. We just kind of been like, hey, can we show up? And they're like, yeah, great, sure.
Well, Steve's so accommodating to so many different things, and he's got a really great mind when it comes to organizing things, and every year he's trying to make it better and better and better. And he's done a really, really great job.
Yeah, we had a blast. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
One of our more popular episodes. And I'm really looking forward to, I think, the Hop Fest, I think, will be even more fun. So the wine one, he says, is a little more low-key, but he said the Hop Fest is more kind of rock and roll. And
it definitely is. It's a different crowd.
Yeah.
It's not so much... refined. I'm not to say that craft beer people aren't refined. We get loud.
Yeah.
We have fun. We all know each other. Everyone's high-fiving each other and talking about beer and talking about the food and talking. It's such a good time.
Yeah.
You know, it's a time for all of us that live in the area to not have to go to Boston. We don't have to go to the seaport. You know, we can just be right here in town, see all of our friends, drink all of our friends' beers. Mm-hmm. It's a giant reunion in my eyes.
When they do have these other festivals, I know there's a Cape Cod Beer Fest coming up, because they told us no, we couldn't record that. Well, they didn't tell us no. They just weren't gonna.
They're not as collaborative.
They weren't gonna let us in.
Wait, you just want free tickets? Is that what you're getting?
Yeah. But do you plan to do like brew tours to like stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once we get our feet wet and we can really stabilize and everything else, we're definitely going to do trips there, trips here. And festivals is definitely a big factor for us, because on top of educating our customers and bringing them to great beer, we also want to make sure that they're safe.
Right.
So if you can take a brew bus and go to a giant beer fest in Boston or the Cape or wherever, you can do it with less worry and less concern, because you know that we're going to be there and to take you home safely.
Right. So would this be like you pick them up at their door, or is it like a central
for private
meeting?
tours we can.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'd like to assume that people will be sensible enough to not, by the time you get back to Plymouth, you've had water.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. It gives you that time to kind of sober up and
exactly, which
together.
Is what you need. We give you a snack, we give you water, so your ride home should be, as long as you're sensible and you have your wits about
you. So you said private tours. You do private tours as well?
Oh yeah, that is what I love, because then you can really be excited with the people and like know their story before they come. And if it's a bachelor party or a birthday party, you can really focus on that. And then private tours, you can really cater to what you want.
Yeah.
And then it's all your friends, your family on the bus, so you can be as
I was going to say, that I feel like those would be more raucous.
Oh my god, they're obnoxious, but it's awesome. Like, it's a great, be loud, be excited. Like, we want people to be excited about their experience. So, yeah, it's great.
So if someone wanted to book a private tour, what's the minimum? Like, what?
So it's a 14-passenger vehicle.
Yeah.
But it is a base rate. It depends on the tour. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on how many breweries you're hitting. It's in the vicinity of $700, give or take.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go down based on number of passengers.
So, like, if you had, like, one guy who's like, here's $700, drive me around.
I will drive her around all day long. Because if somebody wants to do that, like, good for them.
All right.
You know, I'll do it all day long.
Yeah.
That means you really want to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be safe. You want to be educated. Yeah, rock on.
One of the smartest things I've ever heard anyone do, it was a guy that I didn't work with him at the phone company, but, like, we worked with mutual people. And he had AAA Gold, so that has the unlimited towing. So anytime he
got
drunk, he would call up AAA, I need my car towed.
I love it.
They're like, well, where do you need it towed? To my house. Since you're going there.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, used it. He's like, I only use it maybe once a year. He's like, but it's worth it. It's worth the
a $10,000
or what.
DUI,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's another thing. It's like, do you really want to risk it? It's $10,000 at best.
Yeah.
You know, you could kill somebody, you could hurt somebody, you could hurt yourself. So many different things could happen.
Yeah.
Let us take care of that part for you. So
that's awesome. Do you like where are you? I know you're just getting started off, but is there like some like, oh, it would be really cool to do this crazy thing, like
so what
cross-country beer tour or something?
What I'm really pushing for is Waterfire / revival. Because I down in Providence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I keep calling it fire water in my head, so I'm like trying to make sure.
Oh, is that where they like light the water on fire something? But there's also a restaurant called Ice and Fire.
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Okay, I always get that confused.
Well, I love what the guys down at Revival are doing.
Yeah.
I love them. They're all like just such great guys. And to make that trip, do that, you know, make something romantic about it. I don't know how, whatever, but it's one of the things that I'm really pushing for because I love them. And also, you know, obviously there's Maine.
Yeah.
There's Vermont.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things we want to do as soon as we get traction.
Right.
You know, more people are buzzing about it, so it'll be good.
If people wanted to check it out, assume there's a website, where could they go?
Yes, there is BayStateBrewTours.com, and then anything at Bay State Brew Tours. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff.
On
Facebook.
The Snapchat?
I don't think there's a Snapchat.
Yeah, you'd probably be wasting your time. It's generally younger audience on there.
Yeah. I only Snapchat when I'm drunk, so. Hey, guys!
So, like, all the time? Is that...
Oh, my God. No. Yeah, it's like next day, it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been sitting there singing J. Kill with, like, this filter of 90s earrings flowing back and forth. Like, yeah, okay. Got you.
So, are you guys affiliated with any of the hotels in town to, like, recommend people?
Yes, we do have programs with different hotels. You know, we love all the people that run the hotels, 1620 and John Carver, and we know that they give tourists a great experience. So we do work with them, and we do have an incentive program for them, as well as all the local bed and breakfasts and stuff like that.
Nice. So, I gotta say, I'm a little half surprised, half disappointed. You're so professional.
I told you I went to school for radio production.
Yeah. And this is like your radio voice. There's like, I don't think you've sworn at me.
Well, actually,
you've been super polite to me.
Me and you joke around and we have a great, you know, we just fuck with each other. It's like what we do. 95% of what I say to you, I'm just fucking with you because it's so easy.
It still makes me cry.
Listen, what you do when you cry into your pillow at night, it's your business. Once you walk out of here.
Yeah.
But no, I grew up in radio stations. I literally, as a child, was sleeping on cots in production rooms, watching Tales from the Crypt, watching my mother DJ all day, all night. She worked at...
What radio station?
She worked at WATD for several years.
That's the one in Marshfield, right? Yeah.
And WPLM as well. So I definitely grew up in this atmosphere. And then I ended up going to college for it.
Yeah.
And now here I am selling beer.
It's so weird,
and bus
like,
tickets.
how your life kind of goes in whatever direction it's going to go.
How I ended up here is the craziest thing. I was working at Percy's for literally a hot second because we were building our house, and that's how I found out about Craft Beer Cellar, because it was right next door.
Yeah.
And then I liked them on Facebook, and I chose to see them first, and Tatum had posted an ad, and it happened to be the exact days and hours that my husband had off, and we just needed that extra money. And ever since, Tatum's become my wife.
Yeah.
She is my partner. She's literally my business partner, my boss, my best friend, my mentor. She's done so much for me. We've worked on so many things together. I couldn't imagine my life without her at this point. It's just, we just go hand in hand. We just complement each other so well.
She's pretty awesome.
She's the best. I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say anything bad about her. She works in the beer industry, but she just handles herself so well. And she's like so grown up when it comes to beer. I'm like, I'm on my 6. She's like, yeah, honey, maybe have a water. I'm on number 2. I'm like, don't tell me how to live, bitch. But, yeah, so she has just been amazing. I love her so much.
That's awesome. See, I forgot what I was going to say after you being super... Oh, so this still blows my mind. So you lived in Whitman. What year did you graduate?
I did not graduate from Whitman Hanson. I graduated from BR.
But what year did you graduate?
03.
We went to high school together.
Shut the fuck up.
I would have been 2 years ahead of you.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a thing.
See, that's even weirder.
It's weird, right?
You know, it's
small world.
It's a small, small world.
It's ridiculous how small it is.
Yeah. All right.
Hey.
Go Trojans.
Oh,
hey.
God. Hey, it's someone else I went to high school with. You're up to 3 people I still talk to.
So that's a thing.
Yeah. I don't think it counts as still talk to if you didn't talk to her then.
Does it counted before, it counts now.
Yeah.
So. I dated guys in your class, so that's a roundabout kind of way.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not naming names.
I was going to say, I feel like that could be an interesting conversation, but maybe one off mic.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's cool. Thanks for coming down, chit-chatting with us.
You're very welcome.
Being
Thanks
super
for
professional. For our Inebri-art listeners, she's not this nice.
I am so nice. I'm just sarcastic.
It's so not true. This is just like such a total
my God.
radio voice. Don't pound on the table.
Well, you get me to that point. We were like this close.
Yeah, you were doing really good. And,
you know?
So.
And she brought a napkin. I mean, she had padding. She was ready, and then just...
Yeah. Shots were fired.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Yeah. I can't let you go without busting your balls a little bit.
I bring you great beer.
It was really good beer.
And you bust my balls.
Yes.
Like you said you would.
Yes.
Fair enough. But
you know what you're getting into. So for our listeners, they can check us out on Facebook. If you like us on Facebook, every time we get up to 100 new followers, we do a prize package where we draw from the people who follow us. You can find us on Twitter at Inebri-art. If you have complaints, if you want Angela's beer recommendations, you can email us at Inebri-art@yahoo.com, and we'll pass them along to her. We're still waiting on hate mail, which we haven't gotten. I'm hoping someday.
I'll bring it.
Yeah, someday. I would love to have hate mail.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And and like, comment, and rate us on iTunes. That would really help us out, get us some more visibility. And we had a great day of downloads. We have the new Jam Pack podcast, which may not be new by the time this goes up. I'm not sure when this is going up. So thank you to all our listeners in Scotland, Finland, Cambodia, and wherever you may be located. And Ange, thanks for coming on.
Finally talked me into it.
Yeah. Normally you just come downstairs and laugh at us and
yeah, but I do bring you delicious drinks when I do that.
Yes, you do.
Okay,
Yes.
So cheers.
Thanks.